Hiya, and welcome back to Dawn Chorus, the game that teaches us uh, that Arvo, just admit your feelings. Yeah. Anyways, let's just hop right in. Oh shit, are we almost done with Mikko's route? The first day of August, like a sweet caramel. It's sticky and delicious. The color of the late summer sun. The air carries the smell of apples, and I wish I was out there, running through the fields. Everything still seems in the noon heat. A lonely caw resounds from outside. A black bird cuts across the sky, and my thoughts travel with it. Far beyond these four walls, and the teacher's monotonous voice. And I wonder, what are a bird's thoughts like? Do they have a language they think in, or maybe only images, or something entirely different? Incomprehensible for us, earthbound creatures? How does it feel to live like them? But my thoughts snap back to here and now when I notice a person sitting in the second row focused on drawing in his notebook. Mikko. He introduced himself to the class, but we haven't talked yet. I haven't seen him talk with anyone, actually. He smiles to himself while drawing, a smile of genuine happiness. I like drawing too. Maybe if I asked, he could let me join him later. With a photographic precision, the scene comes together in a whole. Comes together into a whole, like a snapshot or a self-contained, tiny perfect world. The dry air in the room, the sound of chalk scraping against the board, the sound of summer sunlight flooding the room, silhouettes of leaves dancing on the classroom wall, and Mikko smiling to himself, a glint in his eye. All an earbud in one ear, hidden in fur, cable under my t-shirt, I'm listening to Moose Kiskitalo's soft crooning, so fitting here. It sounds like the trees here, leaves dancing a slow waltz in the summer breeze. It sounds like the lakes, dotting the land here like spots on a leopard. And it sounds like this classroom bathed in the golden sun, drowsy and lethargic. Class ends, everyone hurries to the door, pouring into the corridor for the break, but he stays behind, still drawing. So I stay at my desk too. He doesn't notice me, engrossed in his own world, so after a while I stand up and approach him. Hey! I'm thinking of going to film school. It would be cool if we both applied, though. We could collaborate on stuff, make music videos. Hey, don't laugh, I'm serious.
You have the silliest ideas sometimes.
I know. But it would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The train tracks carry on forward, unused and overgrown with grass and weeds. Nature spreads explosively over what was once hers. Entropy devouring order. It stretches from an abandoned sawmill next to our school into the unknown. The furthest we've gotten along it was half an hour north, past an abandoned radio tower into the forest. I walk balancing on one rail, arms outstretched, and Mikko on another, a bit ahead. I think that's what I'd like to do in life the most, make music videos. I have a lot of ideas already, just no camera. We could even try recording something to your music. That would be fun.
If I start making any, I wouldn't call my cocking around with synths making music. Did you find the files from the last time we tried filming, by the way?
No, I'm afraid they're lost forever. Nothing of value was lost, though. Do you remember how the filming went?
It was a good laugh. I'd like to remember it. Maybe repeat that even. I'm visiting you this weekend. How about we start with something new?
We can try. Why not? And, how about art school then?
I'm not sure if I'm cut out for that.
Silence falls between us, Mikko suddenly looking down, lost in thoughts.
So, are you serious when you said you want to move out of the country?
Yeah, I definitely want to move out of here. Move somewhere where there's more people, more lights, more life, more everything. Then it doesn't make that much of a difference if I stay in the country, or not, does it? I don't think I'd move too far away. Norway, maybe? I got a calendar with photos from Norway. So pretty there. Mikko loses his balance and I lean forward, catching his paw before he falls.
Thanks.
So, what do you want to do? He sighs, looking up beyond the forest, staring into the sun.
I don't know yet. Thinking of the future frightens me.
It feels like a sea, an ocean of possibilities and paths. I could be so many different things. To take one path and commit to it, shutting myself from everything else. Could I ever live a life like that? But it happens anyway. One can't not choose with free will. Everything is a choice. Even giving up.
But it would be nice to stay together. Maybe we could go to the same uni, and then... I don't know. It's hard to know.
I don't know either, but I can't imagine us parting ways.
Yeah.
My paw brushes through dense fur with slow, comforting strokes. How could I let things go like this? Now when I'm older and my perspective is different, it all feels stupid. What happened to us? What do I tell him today at the hill? I dread this so much. I just got him back and now I risk losing him again. I fucked everything up so bad. We both did, didn't we? But things will get better, you'll see. Dropping out is not the end of the world. For me, it kind of is. No, I feel like I was building a house of cards, and now it's just big enough to collapse under the lightest blow. You have a chance to fix stuff. Me, not so much. The end can also be a beginning. You don't have to fix stuff. If you reached a dead end, it's okay to take a few steps back, or many, and try something else. I mean, it's clear that this is not for you. Is there anything else you'd like to do? Doesn't have to be anything big, just a vision of the future where you're happy. I thought I'd be happy when I finished my studies and got a good job. But you could be happy now doing what you like doing. Happiness is not something you build over time through hard work, spending life chasing some vague vision of who you will be. You could just try to be happy now. It's a lot coming from me, but listening to Bjorn lamenting about his studies, his failed exams, his future plans, seeing him all sad like this, there's nothing positive he said about his life, and it hurts to listen to. Snout guard. That writer? What about him? It was incredible to meet him, surreal even. He is a great writer, you know. I got such a huge kick of motivation just being there and listening to him. I asked him if I could be a writer too. He said that I am already a writer if I want to be one. A writer. That's not an easy path, but maybe it is a path for you. If it would make you happy, then you should definitely try. Yeah, maybe. Have you ever written anything? A bit. Nothing that showed anyone else. Yet. If that's still a beginning and you have to start somewhere, I doubt anyone but some literary geniuses were good when they first started. Yeah, I'll have to think of my living situation first, though. The bear sighs and rests his heavy head on my shoulder, his eyes bleak as a rainy sky. I'm not passing this semester. I have 2 more months of living in the dormitory and then I have to look for somewhere else. Don't think about it today. A failed exam is enough woe for one evening. For now, think that it's finally over. You're free to do whatever your soul desires. Bjorn falls silent, his snout resting on my chest.
It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water.
I resume petting him, making long strokes, starting behind the ear, then continuing downwards, under the hoodie, scratching at his neck. Poor bear. Years of his hard work, and all for nothing, down the drain. But, judging by what he told me, it'd be way worse if he continued and put even more years into something he doesn't want to do. Mikko. My thoughts circle back to him, the North Star on my night sky. I used to pet him like that, not often. We tried that when he was visiting me at my place in winter and stayed up late until late in the night, and then somehow stopped after that. Maybe it felt too awkward. Everything goes right tonight, I could be lying like that with Mikko instead. But it's still nice being here with Bjorn, despite our circumstances. I missed physical closeness so much. Thank you for coming. If not for you, I'd still be panicking. I thought I'd check up on you. I didn't buy this story with you suddenly feeling unwell, sorry. I kind of was. Thank you, though. It's much appreciated. I hope I helped too, at least a bit. You did. I really needed someone to talk to. By the way, I think they'll be serving supper soon. Are you going? Yeah, I think I'll go, but I need a moment first. And I don't think I'll stay for the film. I'm more in the mood for a walk. Sure thing. If you'd like to stay, I'm sure Mikko wouldn't mind if you sat with us. Thank you. Bjorn leans back, sitting down on the bed next to me, a smile returning to his face. So, what are you going to tell Mikko? Everything he will ask about. And I will tell him that I had feelings for him. And I will apologize. Good luck. Holding my thumbs. Not crossing your fingers? Not in Polish. I still have some linguistic oddities from my parents. I sigh and look outside, Hopefully the film puts us in a good mood before we talk. Wow. That totally isn't hurting. That totally doesn't hurt. Oh my god. I started this. My brain wasn't fucking cooperating. And I started this, and somehow I'm in a better mood. All the furniture in the cafeteria got rearranged for the film. Tables are lined up at the walls, our food waiting on one of them.
The last CG was beautiful, romantic cat face. And this was pretty sad.
And layers of blankets are laying on the floor entirely. Mikko is already there when I enter, sitting on one of the blankets strewn across the floor, among other students, pairs and groups and lone figures. I stop in my tracks. How delicate and gentle he looks. Paws folded on his legs, eyes cast downwards, like a piece of paper bending in the wind almost. Urge to protect him rises in me, but against what? I've hurt him myself in the past. I flinch, something clicking inside my head, but I shake off the unpleasant thought and I sit down quickly next to the wolf, gently tapping his shoulders to get his attention when he doesn't react.
Arvo!
Hey, have you eaten already?
Oh, no, I was waiting for you.
I'll grab us 2 plates then. I shoot him a smile, get up and walk away to the table with the food, maneuvering between the students, bumping into Devin on the way. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, that's my fault. Just trying to get something to eat. Devin is rather easy to notice, that's for sure, but I was busy trying not to step on anyone and didn't look ahead. Are you staying for the film? Yeah, I'm with Mikko, sitting there. I'm grabbing us some food first. Point towards the wolf, 2 long ears standing tall among other heads. By the way, do you know what film we're watching? Oh, yes. It's Mr. No One. Have you heard of it? Mr. No One. No, nothing comes to mind, fittingly. I haven't, no. Rune recommended it to me, so I thought it could be a good fit. It has Jared Leto in it. Jared Leto. It has Jared Leto. It has the Joker in it. It has the Joker. It has the fucking Joker, Jared Leto. Professor Arne wanted to play a Cosmogony documentary, but I convinced him that with the lectures in the morning, that's enough knowledge for one day, and you could do with some entertainment. Have you seen Rune, by the way? How'd he come for the film, but he's not here yet, and we're starting soon. No, unfortunately, sorry. That's alright. I can't leave the cafeteria for now, but I'll drop him a message. See, here's the thing. I like documentaries. I like watching documentaries. One of my favorite ones was the documentary on, trying to remember his name, Mr. Rogers. Won't You Be My Neighbor? I remember watching that one. Another documentary, it's a docu-series that I like watching is, How to Become a Tyrant, which is essentially just, the stories of various tyrants, like dictators and whatnot. Documentaries are really interesting. 2 plates in my paw and 2 glass bottles of water in another. I come back to Mikko sitting down next to him. Here you are.
Thank you.
And by the way, I met the coach. I asked him about the film. He said we're watching Mr. No One.
What? Really?
Why? Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's quite good.
Why the disbelief then?
I was just surprised. It's not very new nor a classic and not really well known. And it was a French film, quite long and quite slow.
I glance around the room quickly, looking for Bjorn, but I can't find him.
His supper looks nice, by the way.
But now that he mentions it, he's right. We have sandwiches again, beetroot, horseradish, and rocket on rye bread. Plus a small slice of pie with what looks like cashew cream. Yeah, I could get used to it.
I always wanted to try making this sort of cake. Maybe you could try it once we're back.
I want a slice, though.
If you invite me to your dorm, then I can bring some.
Deal. Devin turns off the light and walks away to a laptop standing next to the projector, turning the film on. Still munching on my second sandwich, I press my side to Mikko's. Like I used to do, out of sheer habit, before I even register what I'm doing. Oh, sorry.
That's fine. You can stay like that.
Thank you. Paths diverging and convoluting. Lives lived and lost, time wasted, never to be recovered. But it's also sweet, nevertheless. Days spent under the sun, beautiful in their scarcity, delicious in their aimlessness, sacred in their leisure. You think of those days that are now way behind you, almost past the horizon, sun-drenched and merry. How do you remember them? Can you recall them at all? The warmth of your parents, your favorite blanket, the breakfast your father prepared each Sunday morning, or perhaps that one dish your mother used to make that you hated with every ounce of your being. The color of drapes in your room, your feverish heat when you laid in bed, sick, cared for with a cold, worried paw on your forehead. The friends you used to see almost every day running around and playing without a care in the world, whispering each other's secrets in the shade under trees in the local park. If you opened the family album and looked at the photos, would you recognize those things? Would they look the same as in your memories, or would you be glancing into an uncanny world that doesn't feel like yours? It's a tragedy growing up, no matter how you look at it. But we can't stay free of care and burden forever, can we? When we're born to grow up. No matter how we struggle against our own bodies, the changes are slow but inevitable. The sweetness of innocence is gone before we can truly appreciate it. But the seed remains inside of us, under layers and layers of the people we shape ourselves to be, under the armor and the gashes, and there's still that same kindling. And maybe if we tried hard enough, we could spark it again. The world is a confusing place. Why do we grow up? We grow up because we get hurt, and we learn to hurt. We learn to control ourselves, we learn to empathize, we learn to cope with pain. We learn to deal pain too, subtly or brutally, with precision or in rage. And then, we're adolescents, ready to face the harsh reality. Paths diverging and convoluting. Lives lived and lost, time wasted, never to be recovered. And you? Would rather hurt or be hurt? Um, to the developers, I have one question to the developers if you're seeing this. I have a question. Why did you have to be so fucking relatable? Why did you have to make this so fucking relatable? I don't appreciate having these feelings, thank you. I don't appreciate having feelings. I don't appreciate it. You know what? Fuck it. That probably just fucked something up. Lights. Cold steel, gentle wind, the sound of rolling back. Sweet, sweet memories of the future. Ground swept beneath our feet. Credits. What a beautiful film. I enjoyed it no less than the first time. Choices. A few different decisions and I could have been somewhere else. Back at home or in Helsinga or living in the sunny Spain. And there's so many things I could have been doing. I was thinking of studying computer science too, or getting into arts. There were so many paths my life could have gone down. there aren't really good or bad choices. Isn't that what the film was saying? But did I really choose this one myself? Or was it chosen for me?
Ha.
That was something. What do you think?
I liked it.
Hit too close to home for me, maybe.
Oh?
I was thinking about this sort of stuff myself today. Choices and paths. Arvo looks around with discomfort, visibly overwhelmed. Can we get out of here? It's so stuffy and I can't think.
Sure, just let me put on my jacket.
It's cold outside, frost licking at my snout. But that's good. It's refreshing and biting. Fits my mood. The wind sings, blowing through the forest. Hey, 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 I didn't do that. Tree branches swaying under its gusts. I glance at Arvo, walking beside me, and the excitement wells up in me, underlined by so many feelings. We're so close, the moment comes. I wonder, what did he think of the film? I'm glad this was the one they chose. Maybe it made him think about us, about alternate endings. What did he feel watching it? Maybe nothing? Does he like his own life? Remember the train tracks near the old sawmill?
Oh, of course.
How could I forget? It was our favorite place for walks, and sometimes they lasted for hours and hours. Do you remember that one time we went down it past both bridges and found an empty grain silo?
I think I do.
I'm not sure why I remembered it now. But it came back to me almost like a vision. I grabbed a thread and the whole scene appeared before my eyes.
That was the last year of middle school, wasn't it? You had a pack of salmiakki with you. I brought a whole bar of chocolate but no water, and we had to wash our paws in a lake.
Longest walk we've ever had. And one of the last. We came back home way past midnight. Yeah, I miss these days. That's why I felt like having some chocolate today.
That was a nice day, especially, yeah. Wasn't there where I showed you Boars of Canada?
No, that was way earlier, but you played some of their music there. Yeah, I remember. You said it fit the scenery.
It did, very well. Oh, that was long ago. It was like another lifetime.
Quite. Almost incomprehensible now how joyous that time was. Have I ever been truly happy since then? Not like I've been back then, no. Without worries, sure, that the future was bright. Now I again believe in that. But I'm rebuilding on the ruins of the past me. Like another lifetime.
Would you mind a little walk? I'd like to look at the sea. There's a nice view from one of the hills.
Sure, I'd love to stretch my paws a bit. It's not a long walk from there. Arvo knows that too, for sure. Is what I asked for yesterday, one evening, and then we meet again at the hill. But if he's nervous, I can't really tell. It never occurred to me back there that we're living. I thought we were just getting ready for life. Let these years pass in the blink of an eye. Days spent running around thinking it was just a play. Just a play. I remember that feeling too. So our days were endless and we'd go on attending school, visiting each other, walking down train tracks, and running around lakes forever. It makes my heart feel softer thinking of it. But I'm angry too. Angry how little it meant to him. I don't know if you remember it, but back then on the train tracks, we were talking about our future. What university and course we choose, what we do. It had to be not long before the exams at the end of middle school. I doubt we'd been thinking of it otherwise.
2 months before then.
Does he really not remember? I could tell exactly which day it was if I looked at the calendar. It was Thursday, day before the holidays. We didn't have to worry about the time and decided to walk until we got tired or the sun would set. And the sunset came first. Funny how we ended up in completely different fields than we thought we would.
Though you moved out just as you wanted.
Yeah, and I thought you'd stay. You never said anything about moving out.
I moved out to Helsinga for high school already. Moving out further wasn't such a great change.
Helsinga. Why the move and why so far away? I don't think I asked before.
I didn't want to go to the same local high school. I didn't have too many friends, remember? I thought a new start there would do me good, and, well, it did. I'm happy I moved out.
You didn't have many friends? What about, I'll say, Nico, Dimitri, Johannes?
I say, Nico, is he that cruel, or does he really not remember? You tell me. They were your friends, mostly.
Arvo stops in his tracks suddenly. Will he turn around and run away again? But he doesn't. An echo of him from those times resurfaces in his eyes, suddenly downcast. And is it guilt? No. How would I know? I'm just imagining things. But these might be our last moments as friends, depending on how it goes. Despite everything, I'd like to remember them fondly. So, how was it?
Good. Scary at first, suddenly finding myself living alone in a city this big, but I made new friends quickly. I found a job at the music store and met the people working on a game and looking for a composer. Though that was online, I couldn't complain.
But now you're here.
Yeah. I wanted to study marine mammals, and in Norway it's just much easier. I mean, we actually have orcas not that far from the coast in Onslow. Did you know?
I didn't. Why marine mammals? I don't remember you ever being fascinated with them.
It came later when I was living at a dorm and needed a bit of escapism. Around that time I started to make music too. I like making bubbly sounds, sounds that would make you feel like you're underwater. That was my original motivation. I liked music before, but I didn't think much about trying my paws at it.
I see.
I wish I was an orca.
Really? An orca?
Yeah, they're apex predators. No one picks on them. They're strong and resilient and so cool. And they have no obligations, no complicated past. Even though they are intelligent, possibly as intelligent as we are, free of shackles of culture, they swim where they want, do what they want.
Are they now?
You'd be surprised. Not only do they understand words, they grasp the syntax of languages. They're terrific learners, and in captivity, they're absolutely miserable.
Silence falls between us once again.
You asked me what do I think about the film. I liked it. I understand it better now. I generally understand things much better now. Time creates distance necessary to see things from the outside, and experience provides tools to do it.
So you see it differently than the first time you've seen it?
Yeah, now I saw myself in it. When I looked past the story and understood what it was trying to tell us. We always make choices. Even abstaining from a choice is a choice in itself. But even so, the outcomes aren't determined by us. All choices are equal because we never know where they will get us. So, they are shaping our lives, but they don't put us behind the steering wheel. We can't be in control of everything. So I'm thinking it's better to let go sometimes. Give up on something we were pursuing and just accept that it's beyond our reach, or accept that something that we wanted turned out to be awful for us.
We're there already. A meadow opens before us, and just ahead is the top of the hill. It almost feels like more of a symbol than a place. Innumerable paths. There's only one past, but an infinite number of possible futures. Nothing is absolute, all choices are valid. But the consequences of them never go away, and with each, the future gets a tad narrower. The present is already decided, and it's not the present I choose for myself. I know what went wrong, but I don't know why. I tiptoe in one place, stuck in a loop, unable to let go. I wish I could untangle my past and do things differently this time. What would I have to change for things to be right? Should I have been more cheerful? Should I have gotten into different music? Or maybe I should have gone to a different school and never gone through this? Why did you leave me? Was I this boring? Was I too childish? Did I disgust you? What did I do? Did I hurt you? Have I failed you? Was I a bad friend? Was I not caring enough? Was it something I've said? Was it too honest or too blunt? Intensive when you needed comfort? Insensitive when you needed comfort? What was it? The way you ate pancakes or the shirts I was wearing? Were you ashamed of me? A lonely light travels across the sky. How alone it seems, surrounded by space, vast and empty. Like an orca in the sea, separated from the pod. I almost feel sorry for it. A feeling overcomes me like a lightning. Like a light.
Emotional damage!
Almost making me fold in half. A true yearning. But I yearn for the impossible. I yearn for the true understanding. So I guess what I was getting at was that I started wondering where it would be if I made different choices. What other possible versions of us were out there? What lives we could have had? If I didn't run away. Arvo stops and so do I, exhaling. I can't face him. I don't want him to see my face right now on the verge of tears already. The moment stretches into forever, but now we have to see it through until the end.
It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water.
The time is frozen. I can't look back even if I wanted to. But this is what I wanted, didn't I? A confrontation and a resolution. I don't want to carry this baggage anymore and pretend everything is alright. The moon emerges from the clouds, bright. As I look at it, shining above the mountains, I could swear its surface flickers slightly. It has to be an illusion, though. The moon doesn't flicker, does it? Maybe it's a sign. I can feel the paths converging and splitting apart. A course for the future being set. My mind is like unquiet water, its surface distorted with waves rippling. I can't see through it, beyond the emotions rocking my body. Must be looking so still, even if there's a storm raging inside. I don't know how to communicate the feelings I have in me. I'm sorry.
What for?
Silence.
What did I do to deserve it?
Silence. Can't even look me in the eyes.
I changed throughout the years that I left things behind me, but now, back here and next to you, I'm again the same person I was back then, years ago. So much is coming back to me and it's confusing. The worst part is that it's only the good things, our trips, our walks, the evenings I spent at your place.
The sunny days, the rainy ones too. The school library where we used to go to skip PE classes, the music we listened to. That one time when I visited him for the Sophie online listening party. Think of it each time I listen to them. The floodgate opens, memories flooding to me, and with them, the emotions I associate with them. Happiness, heartbreak, the absolute sense of belonging, the unreasonable belief that our days were endless.
Remember how happy we were together. There's a stupid hope in me that we could just forget everything and go back to being like that. I should be mad. I have every reason to, but I'm not. Even though I want to. Because back with you now, I still feel that everything could be alright.
It's humiliating almost. Why can't I be allowed at least this? Not even revenge, but some righteous anger.
I feel defeated.
More silence. Deafening, ringing in my ears.
Can you say something?
I'm sorry, I really am. I don't know how I could have acted like that. I look back in time and I don't recognize myself. I'm ashamed of myself. You have no idea how much. I don't know what I could do to make amends to you, ever.
You could start with telling me why. Why did you stop talking to me? And why did your friends follow?
Silence again.
You have no idea how much it hurt me, losing you. I understood how much myself a year ago in Helsinga. I was at work, sorting new arrivals into categories when I noticed a tiger standing an aisle away and I thought it was you. They had the same ears, same style, and they were looking at the indie rock section. And my heart fluttered, and without thinking I came up to them. All I felt was joy, almost lifting my paws from the floor. It felt like I was gliding. Only to notice it wasn't you.
Then after the disappointment came anger. Anger at being put into this situation. With no choice given to me, no consideration, no explanation.
For that I thought I got over you, but I didn't. When I met you here at the university, I had more control over myself. I thought at first that I could keep you at a relative distance and we could just stay friends and maybe meet up sometimes. Thought it'd be better to conceal any feelings I've had and just try to keep some minimal contact. We both got into science club, and I was seeing you more often. I panicked when I found out about the camp and heard that you'd be going, but then I thought, I can't run away my whole life. I have to confront you somehow, at least find a way to let go. I wanted to see how you've changed. I thought that if we got a room together, I'd get to spend more time with you, and the feelings would just pass, and we could part ways in peace. But you wanted your own room, and I thought that maybe it was stupid. Maybe you didn't even want to hang out with me, and I should give up. And then you sat next to me on the bus and started talking as if our old friendship had just resumed. 2 days went by, and you stayed over at my room. What I feel for you only resurfaced and deepened. So I guess I'm sorry, too. Things went in a different way than I wanted.
Lyrics play in my head. A song I know well. If you could live it once again. Yes, without a second thought. Dawn chorus. It came out one summer morning and changed my life forever. I've listened to it so much since then that it became a soundtrack to my days, always at the back of my head. I'd hear it every time something out of my control happened. I'd hear it every time my heart ached. I'd hear it in the tram, thinking about everything that has happened, the lyrics wrapping my head in words better than I ever could. I'd hear it every time it rained and I looked at the clouded sky, colorless and melancholic. It had a bit of color to it.
Arvo, I loved you. I still think I do.
The words carry so much weight, but they don't feel weird to say. They don't even feel embarrassing. Why would they really? I don't know what I want from Arvo other than a reason. I didn't even want an apology. It's out there and that feels good. It's like a stone off my chest. I've broken out of the loop. Could I give myself any hope that things could really work out between us? I think I'd be happy if I could just leave with a peace of mind. But even so, even if I was to cling to that flickering hope, can you start a new chapter if you didn't close the previous one?
Being apart was so hard for me, and now being together is even harder. I don't know what to do, but I had to put it out in the open.
Mikko. Oh, Mikko, why didn't I know?
Doesn't change much, I suppose.
It changes so much! Fucking hell, how could I have been so blind? I've hurt you and myself, and all for no reason. When we started making plans for the future, I started to feel like you're getting farther away from me. Suddenly there was this distance between us, and I thought you were putting it there because you felt like I was getting too close. I was scared. So I was growing apart, dreaming of different visions of the future. I thought Arvo would want to stay with me there, but all he was talking about was getting away, moving out. I didn't want to move out, but then I didn't feel welcome anymore.
It was middle school, for fuck's sake. I wasn't thinking about it seriously, and I've put some more distance between us because I didn't know how to approach this. I had to take a step back and examine my feelings. It was a first for me. You have no idea how nervous I was.
I had a crush on you. Can't imagine how great. It was like a fever almost. Thought you saw that and started to put more distance between us. I have accepted that it would hurt you if I brought it up, and I tried to stay away from you. It was hard, like you couldn't imagine, the hardest thing I've done in my life. But I was sure I had to. Mikko, I loved you too. I dreamt of spending the rest of my days with you. This can't be true.
What do you mean?
I mean what I said. I loved you. A wave of cold sweat runs down my back as everything I thought was true about these times crumble. It's like a gaping hole in the earth opening underneath me. I fall without landing. Why then? Why did I suffer if everything could have been so well?
Do you feel something towards me now? Arvo, do you?
The song again. It's the last chance. Silence. I thought so. Anger rises in me. I'm not sure at what even. Arvo or everything that has happened. Or maybe at myself?
You've wasted my time. I have wasted my time trying to get back with you.
Long leaps carry me down the hill, each leaving deep paw prints in the snow. Wind blows hard and loud, disorienting me. Maybe it's just my ears ringing. Some students stand at the entrance from the terrace, their little clouds of warm breaths mingling together. I ignore them and push through to the door. A few more seconds and I'll be in my room. Clutching my chest, my heart beating loudly, blood harsh in my ears, I move along the corridor, praying I don't meet anyone familiar. I'm here. I slide down the door. There's a storm of thoughts raging in my head. Just deafening thunder. I want to jump out of myself. It's unbearable. I have to deal with it the only way I know. Moving across the floor, I sit down in front of the keyboards and turn everything on. New project. Overwrite. A clean slate. I program a simple pattern and set it to the synth. Just basic settings. This is the best part. The seed. The very bare bones. Some keys, maybe, but nothing too much. Just for the chords. This works, but maybe a small tweak to the sound. It could be a bit more rounded. Like this. Should be fine. It's coming together. Now pads. Something simple but lush. A cluster chord, dense like a digital forest. Something I can lose myself in. A rain of digital noise. A sound I could walk into and dissolve. This is lovely. I want more. And more and more. Louder. Louder. Love is brutal. Love is suffering. Love is pain. The good moments I've had with Mikko, they were the best moments of my life. No, despite the pain, even if nothing could work out between us, I don't regret falling in love with him. But why? Why couldn't I find the words inside me to say to him now? Paths diverging and convoluting, lives lived and lost, time wasted never to be recovered. But it's also sweet nevertheless, days spent under the sun. The world is a confusing place. We barely know what do we want, but when we finally get it, it often turns out to be much different than we thought. Often our own choices hurt us more than anyone else could. We try again and again to reach the place we see ourselves in. To bridge the gap between who we are and who we imagine we could be and what we could have. Perhaps that's what makes us people. The yearning to be the person we imagine ourselves to be, and the torment of incompleteness. But it's an illusion. We can never be that person. When we reach the peak of the mountain, another higher one looms in the distance. The struggle for the life we wish we had never ends. Look how far you've come. You should be proud of yourself. There's so much ahead of you still, a sea of possibilities. Not of who you should be, but of who you can become. But if you could go back and experience it again, would you? Fuck. Damn. In my opinion, okay. In my opinion, no. I wouldn't go back. And this is going to be a bit personal. In my life, I've I'm barely in adulthood. I am barely in my 20s, and I have already experienced a lot of life. If I could change some things, I would, but even then, I don't think I'd change anything because it helped lead me to where I am now. Yeah, there are some things that I could change. However, I don't know where I'd be if those things changed. Basically, I'm kind of okay with how my life turned out. And, and I feel like that's what I should hope for. But personally, no. God damn it, wrong button. Birds circle around their forest, their calls piercing through the darkness. Who could they be calling to at this hour? I wonder, is the time linear for them, or do they count the years and summers? I stopped dead in my tracks. Something rustles in the dense forest ahead of me. Could this be... Rune? He looks almost panicked and stops too, seeing me. Something unusual about him, a hint of madness in his eyes. Hey, is everything alright? But he bolts sideways, running off into the forest. Oh, what was that about? Why did I startle him so much? I hope I'm not that hideous in the dark. I could follow him by his paw steps. He didn't seem to want to be followed. Besides, I don't feel like talking to anyone. Then I noticed something weird. Through the trees in the distance Rune ran off to, moon shines, its surface flickering. Even if you went back and changed stuff, would you still be yourself in the future? I don't think so. I blink twice, but the flickering doesn't go away, light shimmering gently but clearly. Must be because I'm looking at the moon through the trees, or maybe it's the heat from some source. Hotter air rising and rippling. My steps lead me back to the guest house. There's a lot of people on the terrace and I'd rather avoid them, so I start circling the building towards the main entrance. But, walking along the sauna window, I change my plans and open the small door to the sauna corridor instead. Rush of warm air filled with the heavy smell of chlorine. It feels so good, massaging the tensed up folds of my brain. My paws are completely frozen. I barely noticed that outside, but now the cold feels biting. Hell, it feels so empty. There's no one in the locker room, thankfully, but some of the lockers are closed. I hope they're all at the swimming pool. I undress quickly and put my stuff in one of the open lockers, not bothering to close it, and grab a towel from the stack at the entrance to the sauna. Mikko wasn't here as I thought. There is a lone figure sitting at the glazed wall. Looking outside, towel wrapped around his waist instead of lying flat on the bench. Devon. Hair that doesn't register me, or at least does nothing to acknowledge my presence as I sit down on the opposite side of the middle bench on the same side as him. That's fine with me, though. I wanted to be alone. Outside, the moon still flickers, heat from the coals rising and dispersing around us. I open up my lungs, taking in the fiery hot air slowly with deep breaths. I lean back on the wooden bench and relax. My nose picks up a faint scent of alcohol. He turns towards me, but then drops his gaze. Is he ashamed because he was drinking, or what's going on? I don't want us both to feel awkward for the next few minutes until one of us leaves, so I speak up. So, how did you like the film? The film? Oh, the film. I didn't check what it was beforehand because Rune recommended it to me. I had no idea it could be this abstract. It wasn't bad. I don't think anybody left. I really enjoyed it myself. I don't know. It wasn't an easy watch, and it certainly wasn't the light entertainment I hoped it would be. I need to rethink my faith in his recommendations. I exhale and lean back, the heat slowly getting to me, knots untying. Today's weird. Oh, tell me about it. Devin blurts out before composing himself and looking at me curiously. Something happened? Not really, but everyone seems troubled today for some reason. Huh, really? What's been going on? Just personal troubles, I stop and sigh, the feelings from my conversation with Mikko suddenly hitting me at once, so my subconscious warded them off until now, keeping me disconnected. Now it finally all feels real. Coach, why is love so complicated? I could ask you the same thing. No, I'm definitely not the best person to ask. None of my relationships lasted, and I blew it myself with the only serious partner I've ever had. There's definitely something weird going on today. Never thought I'd see Devin's soft side. It clashes with my perception of him as a stern teacher so much that I don't know how to reconcile the two in one person. I'm sorry to hear. No, I'm sorry. It's been a long day and I guess I missed some company. I thought I'd come here with Rune, but I haven't seen him since we came back from the town. Oh, I've seen him just a few minutes ago in the forest. He was running somewhere. He didn't seem like he wanted to talk. Huh, weird. Maybe he needed someplace outside to think. That wouldn't be unlike him. So, you want to tell me about what's troubling you? I could trust him, I know that, but I don't really feel like sharing it yet, with anyone. If there's anything I want, it's to sleep and forget about it for a moment at least. Still have a few minutes here, though. I entered maybe 5 minutes ago, barely. If I'm already here, I might as well use that time. Have you seen the moon today? Yeah, it's a full moon. Bright enough so that I could see it on the way from the town, when the clouds started to clear up. It's still pretty cloudy. Hope for a clear sky. It's nice to lie down and stargaze for a while. I haven't done it for so long that I had to come here to take part in that lesson to remember that's something I can do. Works much better here than in the city, though. I loved it so much. When I gaze at the stars for a while, the perspective changes as I become infinitely small, insignificant almost in this vast world. I wish I could stay in that state longer. Not all the time, maybe, but more often. Aware of how little our troubles are, of how little time we have. Full of love for everyone. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. The words just flowing out of me in a stream of consciousness. But the everyday always pulls us back in, doesn't it? I get what you mean, but the cloudy sky can be just as great to look at. Clouded sky is like a sea almost, always changing, never the same, immense and vast, but also ephemeral. You can see so much in there, but all of it will be the reflection of your own mind. Clouded sky is like a sea almost, never twice the same. Like our days spent under that sky, each different. As above, so below. The sky is in constant flux, and so is everything. We can't chase the days past, we can't live the same day twice. And we're the same. Slowly, gradually we change, until we're barely recognizable. From our sunrise to our sunset, our lives take on different hues, shapes emerging and disappearing from the foggy mass of our minds. What are our lives really but canvases, painted by everything we experience? Through that initial spark, our genetic seed, our element of divinity, we grab the brush and start painting. It's easy to get lost in the clouds. Are you sure you should be a coach? Didn't you think of teaching literature or something? I was always good at sports, and I like what I'm doing. I nod, having nothing to add, but a lot to think about. But then, as Devin seems like he's ready to get up, a question pops into my head. Can I ask you something, Coach? You can just call me Devin. We're not at the university, and it's making me feel awfully old when you call me Coach. And sure, go ahead. Are you and Rune a thing, or are you just friends? Huh? Do you mean... No, we're friends. Do you feel something for him? Ask with hope in my voice. Guess I'd like to not feel alone with my feelings, but to have someone who'd share them. Just friendship. Sorry, I just thought... Well, you seem pretty close. Not that close, no. Frankly, I probably think of him
It's
more
time
as
to
a friend
drink
than
water.
he thinks of me. I don't really understand that.
It's time to drink water.
I see.
It's time to drink water.
I wonder if you could hear the disappointment in my voice.
It's time to drink
Even
water.
in a way. If I looked outside, I know the forest would look just the same as yesterday, shrouded in darkness. But in my mind, all the trees are on fire, painting the sky bloody red, smoke billowing. It's time for me to go before I melt. See you later. See ya. I gotta go too, but I'd rather wait until Coach Devin dresses up and go change back into my things in an empty locker room. For now, I can sit around and imagine the great fire licking at the sky, forced burning. Mikko's room. Should I knock on the door? I want to. I want to see him. But what could I tell him? That everything will be alright? I don't know that myself. I don't have anything to tell him. I would just like to feel his presence and know that he isn't mad at me. Which he surely is. Oh no, totally. They totally have. Okay, let's do this. I knock and take a step back. 5 seconds pass, then 10. Half a minute. No answer. Nothing left for me but to continue to my room. I glance at Bjorn's door too as I pass it. I hope he's doing alright. I really don't have the mental strength to knock and check up on him. And I don't want him to see my defeated face and recount to him our conversation. No, better just go to my room and go to sleep. The bedding is warm and the mattress is comfortable. Everything around me is still and my thoughts feel oddly calm too. Maybe because now I understand I saw the past through a distorted lens, looking from my perspective only. I'm grateful for everything I got, every moment I spent with him. Even if I think I'd like to use that time better, could we really? I held him close in my arms already. I only need to find that place in myself again, and hopefully that he'll still accept me when I'm ready. The future still lies open before us. Nothing is decided. But I need to be sure, or I will end up hurting him again. Maybe even worse than the last time. This is the lesson I learned. I can't think of myself only. In the past it fixed and unchanging. I saw it for what I hoped it was. Cast myself in a better light than I ever deserved. Indulging in nostalgia like poison coursing through my veins, clouding my brain, reaching through the deepest corners of my beings, pulsating in my fingertips. I thought Mikko remembered our time together just as fondly, but can I know that really? But the past is also far away, almost beyond the horizon. And so are the past us. I see us through a dense fog. Can't be sure what happened, and I will never know what Mikko felt.
Everything merges with the night.
But as my eyes close, the scenes from my adolescence come back to me, as they really were. Wait, is his route actually over? Like, they're not releasing any more updates for it? God! Fuck! Fuck! Mmm! Well, I'm gonna look up the update schedule. And, as always, stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.